The question on the table today is the Black Manosphere working? Is the Black Manosphere working? We're going to be getting into that. The conversation that we're going to be having is a conversation that came up organically on a live stream where someone who's been a long time listener of the space, came up and said some things that I had to push pause on it. Like we got to turn this into a full discussion because he talked, you know, very very intimately about how the critique of women and the good arguments, I would say the accurate points that the Black Manosphere has made. When I say have Black Manosphere essentially does a male centric clapback or counterpunch to the woman centric propaganda that's put out there against men. That's what the Black Manosphere does. If I had to put it in one sentence, that's essentially what the Black Manosphere has been doing from 2015, ever since 2015, as far back as I could trace it. Well, what's happened with that is there are some people who had some personal issues when it came to women, things they probably needed to work on. But the arguments and the points that were made in the Black Manosphere, even though they're true, even though they're accurate, there are some people who probably did have things personally that they needed to internally fix about themselves, but they were hiding behind good arguments and using them as excuses as to why they weren't getting what they wanted out of life. And a gentleman was on my panel about a week ago, maybe a week and a half ago, and he was pretty candid about that. And so we're going to flesh out that discussion. So strap on in, get ready to go. As I find the intro, get ready to go. Let's get it.
Peace, folks. This is X from TPOT Media. Open your mind and wake your black ass up. You know what time it is. Hit that damn like button as you make your way in the door. Grab a seat, settle in, get ready. It's the Grown Man Hour with your host, my man, Bernard Riley.
What's going on, good people? Welcome back to the show. Shout out to the early bird squad, those that make it in. Drop a comment, hopefully a like before we even get things started. Appreciate each and every one of you for being in the building. And I'm still struggling with my new phone that never properly goes on silent when I need it to. But we getting into this thing. Forgive me. Stumbling out the gates. Let me turn that volume all the way down. All right, cool. All right, we are in here. Got a great, excellent topic, excellent show for y'all. But shout out to the early bird squad. Those that making it in bright and early. Drop a comment before we even get things started. Do appreciate each and every one of you. Shout out to Windmaster. Shout out to Windmaster. Said, no, it's not. No, it's not. Clarify if you can in the chat room. I don't suspect that you can, but if you can, clarify why you don't think it's working in the chat room. I say it has to be working. Why? Because everywhere that you go, you hear Manosphere talking points. I remember it was even 2020 when I started going live. I started posting content around 2018. But I started going live and taking it serious around 2020. And everywhere I went, I mean, well, now everywhere you go, but back then it was rare. It was obscure. It was a bubble. It was a small band of brothers just spitting some raw and real stuff. That was probably going on ever since 2015. Far back as I could trace it. I know there are those that say it was stuff going on before then. Far back as I could trace it. Stuff that I could look up and see with my own eyes, 2015. But it was still obscure. I think it has succeeded in terms of getting the word out, getting the message out, and it has changed the thought process, the zeitgeist, the whole, just everything, to the point to where you can't go anywhere. Like it's almost hard to even define what Black Manosphere is, because all the ideas, concepts, views, and perspectives, insights that have came out of the Black Manosphere, they're all over general Black YouTube, Black Facebook, if that's a thing, Black Twitter, Black, I mean, of course, Black Facebook is the thing. It's all over. So in terms of getting the word out, stirring the pot of the culture, I don't think that part can be denied. But I think Black Wizard gets it right here. But hold on, shout out to Little Rock. Shout out to Black Wizard. Says, yes, it's working. People just expect too much from it. Now, I don't mind if people expecting a lot from it, but people criticize it of not meeting goals and benchmarks that it hasn't personally set out to meet. So you are right. You do get it right in that regard. The Mac the Trucker in the building says, what's good, everyone? Show topic and yesterday's show was great. Brother Nate, show us the WND at full capacity. Absolutely. Shout out to Hoop Jargon in the building. He says, okay, now I love this. He says, man, I listened to a stream from you 2 years ago with KS, that's Kevin Samuels, ARC, that's Alan Roger Curry, and oh man, that's Muhammad Obsidian Ali. You've come a long way, bro. Salute. I missed those classic streams. A part of me was thinking about taking them down because the quality is bad on so many of them, but I don't want to ever delete that history. Because it is some classics. Every now and then I may randomly listen to an old one, and man, it was just some classic panels. That was back when the space, I would say, was more united before Kevin Samuels blew up. It wasn't as divisive. It wasn't, it was still beefs that would pop up here and there, but it wasn't the space, I would say, was united. Few beefs withstanding, yeah. I mean, that is what it is. But the space was united. And those were better times. Those were better times. And then, when Kevin Samuels blew up, then it just, a lot of people went left. And it splintered things. And yeah. And so we are where we are. But LB Crypto in the building says, why you think we have all these shorts, chat rooms, and posts on IG, TikTok, Facebook? The Black Manosphere thought it, and Kevin Samuels brought it mainstream. 5523 St. Kev Day. Oh my goodness. Is that the day he died? Oh no, damn. Are we back? Wow. Omega Dread says, I've been helped. The Conqueror says, let's get it. Wow. I can't believe, 1 year. All right, let's drop the music. I'm supposed to be joined by a guest. He's not here, so I will interact with the chat room brethren. And we shall see what's up. We shall see what's going on. Excuse me. But shout out to Omega Dread, says he's been helped. Shout out to Saludim El Rahim, says Jason Black said the Black Manosphere is dead. Says the man who's been trying to kill it for like the last 2-3 years from what I can see. People who want to kill it love to say it's dead. So they can feed off the carcass. And by the carcass, I mean the audience. They do content that I call, they start doing like the Ocean's 11 audience heist content. They want to create negative press about it, straw man it, do make every bad argument they can about it, find, any flaw here and there, poke and prod for any flaw, and then just call it Black Manosphere. Any flaw in a black male thought, action, reaction, or whatever the hell, Black Manosphere, the Black Manosphere. All they do is talk about women. All they do is complain about women. All they do is this. All they do is that. Then you look at his content, and it's really the damn near the same content. So, yeah. But it's dead. It's dead, but the audience is alive, and he wants the audience. So there's that. The human chapter in the building says it's difficult to gauge whether it does, but in the end, a man has to do the work. Yes, if you're talking about a man's individual self-improvement, a man's individual journey, yes, he does have to do the work. The manosphere doesn't exclusively work or operate as a self-help mechanism. Within the framework of it, people get the help that they need, but that's not solely what it is. However, the individual man who does need some help with something, yes, he has to do the work. You could listen to a content creator all day. You can even book a consultation all day. You could do all of that all day, but if you're not doing the work, then no, it's not going to be working for you. But is it working in terms of changing the worldview of Black men? Yes. Some say that it's just complaining about women. I strongly disagree. It's talking about women. It's talking about the social dynamics between men and women. It's giving a male-centric perspective on that. And when men grow up only hearing the more woman-centric propaganda against men type of view, they grow up with a worldview and they're not moving properly as a man. That's a problem. Like I said it once, I said it before. I meet a lot of my subscribers. It's probably, I could probably name a handful of people in this space or in the general vicinity of this space that probably meet more of their subscribers than me. I meet a lot of them. Most of them are doing well in life financially. They say that the Manosphere helped them in terms of their worldview, their perspective on things and how they move, and understanding their role as a man. These these guys are already out of the starting blocks. They got the aspect of being not that they all just uber super successful, but as far as just being a functioning adult man who can pay his bills and put a little money in the bank and make adult decisions, they got that part for the most part figured out. It's a lot of men who got that figured out, but they still moving goofy in terms of women, and then they're taking L's as a result of it. The Manosphere, I think, helps more with that. Now, Dion Davis is saying he disagrees. I don't know exactly what part of what I said that you are disagreeing with, but we will explore. We will explore. He says, I disagree. I think you are noticing it more in public. Bernard, because you are around it often, it's like knowing someone who drives a Prius. You only notice them because you know someone with one. I have no idea what you mean. I don't know. Explain exactly what you disagree with. Explain exactly what it is that you have a disagreement with. He says, I disagree. I think you are noticing it more. What exactly am I noticing more? I don't understand what it is that I'm noticing more. When he clarifies what he means, put that one up on the screen, RM. If he clarifies it, I should be able to catch it. I should be able to catch it. The chat kind of slow today, but I do want to know what he means when I say that. Oh, I think he's talking about I notice everybody talking about it. The conversations that we have seep over into every conversation that I hear on Black YouTube. I just think that's a brute fact. I don't think you can get around that point. I don't think you can get around that point. I just don't. I don't. It's people who you can go on random TikTok. They either making Manosphere arguments or they're responding to Manosphere arguments. That's just point blank period. That's just point blank period. Shout out to who else we got in here. Says by help with exactly. Well, let me get to the super chat. Is the Manosphere supposed to is the Manosphere supposed a therapist coach, Votech Center, think tank, rec center for men, pack, or a discussion springboard? Seems these critics want all of the above. Yeah. Yeah. Oh, and by the way,
what do we get for $10? Everything you want.
Welcome, Jay. Oh, and we got to change that. That's spelled like child. My fault. I should have explained that. Jay Childers is spelled like child. So let's change that one. But welcome, Jay Childers, to the Patreon. Shout out to all the new Patreons. Appreciate each and every one of you. Appreciate each and every one of you for becoming patrons. Appreciate each and every one of you for becoming patrons. Appreciate it. Appreciate it. Where were we? Where were we? I was somewhere. I had a good one coming up. Had a good comment. I'm really disappointed my guest isn't here. But we will do this. It will be
Hold up.
a chat room driven show. This could be a chat room discussion driven show. I'll put the link in and we'll chop it up on whether or not the Manosphere is working. We'll have a discussion about it. But the human chapter in the building, he says, by help, what exactly are we talking about? So I think he's referring to the Black Manosphere helping men. So yes, I think it's helping men in many different ways. It may not be doing exactly what some people would like for it to do, or like the straw man that it. So I'm not even going to get into that. It may not be doing some things that some people would like for it to do, or I guess the public face of it isn't doing what some people would like for it to do. But like I said, the Black Manosphere, ever since as far back as I can trace it, that goes back to 2015, started, really watching and doing content or posting little pre-records in 2018. But a lot of the info from 2017, 2016, and a splash from 2015 was still up. Some people have released old streams, so I've seen some of the old stuff going back then. I could trace it back to 2015. I've seen old Obsidian videos from 2015. I've seen old Angerman videos from 2015. Even saw some old O'Shea from 2015. Saw some old BGS and Black Ram from back then. LAR even got some stuff going from back then. LAR got old stuff that you could dig up. Lots of people. All of it that I've seen has been essentially what I define as a male-centric response, clapback, or counterpunch to the woman-centric propaganda against men that's been put out there. That's what it has done. Now, what has that woman-centric propaganda against men done? Okay, it's propaganda indoctrinates you without you even realizing you're being indoctrinated. It starts from the time you're a child. It skews the worldview and skews the worldview of men. When the worldview of men is skewed from the time they're a child growing up, they grow up as men, they don't move properly as men, and then here they are in this modern world. They keep walking into the buzzsaw. I think the Black Manosphere is helping a lot of men move and operate the way that they should be moving and operating as it pertains to their dealings and interactions with women and their just an overall place in this society. I think the Black Manosphere does a good job at that. Now, when it comes to some of the things that say, okay, y'all not helping men, level up in their life. Okay, level up content, dry level up content. That's not the content in the Black Manosphere. However, that is important. And that's why I think the Black Manosphere does a good job. It grows the audience doing what I described as that male-centric counterpunch or clapback to the woman-centric propaganda that's out there against men. It grows the audience that way. Now, those individuals in the audience that does need that help in that way, we connect them with the individuals who do have a particular skill that they can teach, or some knowledge that they can give, or some knowledge you may have to pay for. Like I said, I funnel a lot of people into Sub-Zero School. We funneled a lot of people into Theo's IT class. Right now, Theo has more students than what he can teach. Right now, Theo has more students than what he could teach. Okay? It's just that's just the reality of the situation. I literally heard him say that. I literally heard him say he has more students than what he can teach. Like, that's the reality of the situation. So the men who do need help in that area of getting their life together, getting their money and resources and all of that, getting all of that together, there's avenues for them here. There's avenues for them here. But like I said, I don't think nobody has met in person as many. Now, we should take pictures every time because I'm tired of just showing this same picture, but I don't think nobody has met as many of their subscribers as me. And these ain't no basement dwellers, all right? These ain't no basement dwellers. Maybe there are basement dwellers who just don't show up and show out. They don't show up to stuff. Okay, cool. There's resources here. There's networking here. Like I've always said, the true business is done behind the scenes. The important part is that we have a network of men that have a lot of different knowledge. The person with the knowledge may not have the channel. Like Sub-Zero does not get a lot of views talking about IT, but he for damn sure teaches IT, and he for damn sure gets students from this space. So if you're talking about helping men in that way, yeah, we certainly do. We certainly do. But he confirmed, that's what I'm getting at. Bernard, you mentioned you listen to old streams, so naturally you are seeking out Black Manosphere jargon. No, I'm not just seeking out Black Manosphere jargon. The point is that I can't go anywhere without finding it. When I said I listened to my old stream, I was talking about, like, that's literally my old content. Like, how could you not listen to your old content? Like, that's kind of hard to not do. It's like, every now and then you're going to check out your old content. It just is what it is. We saying almost a year later. Yes, almost a year later. I just realized that yes. Yeah, Kevin Samuels died. Yeah, a year ago. It will be a year and 2 days. God damn. Time flies. Devin D says it used to. Ew, explain that one. Explain that one. Explain that one. I'm sort of behind the chat now. Manosphere reminds me of the He-Man woman haters from the Little Rascals. Yeah, that's a joke that a lot of people have said. And I'm not going to stunt. There's some channels. There's some channels that can give that vibe. There's some channels that can give that vibe. No doubt. No doubt. I'm not going to run from that one. I'm not going to run from that one. There's some channels that give that vibe. I remember Obsidian has been called Spanky from the Little Rascals, and they was mad at Alfalfa because he pulled Darla. That's what they just hated him. It do be a lot of that in this space. It do be not saying Obsidian has hated on somebody for that. I'm just saying somebody has called him Spanky from the Little Rascals, and his channel was the He-Man Woman Haters Club. People have made those jokes, but you know, you talk about all this red pill stuff, red pill this, red pill that. If you are I think properly manosphering and red pilling, in to make them a verb. If you are properly manosphering, dealing and maneuvering with women becomes easier to the point to where you're likely to find, a woman that's just operating on just, she just on your program. She following your lead, whatever you want to do. She just sitting there playing double dutch, waiting for you to tell her when to jump in. You can get to that level, and and what happens when some people just get to that level, that steady state, so to speak, when dealing with women. There are some people that will criticize. Oh, you ain't red pill no more. It's like, nah, you can. I don't know if graduate is the right word, but you could just get to the point to where you cool chilling with it. It's like, it is what it is. And then some people will pull out. That's where the He-Man woman haters come in. Somebody get criticized, they say, yeah, I'm in a relationship, I got a cool chick, she cool. Nigga, you a simp. So there's some of that junk in there. That's why I'm not going to run away from. There's an aspect of it that does reek of the Little Rascals He-Man woman hater club. I'm not going to run from that one. Let's see. I'll read a few more, then I'll put the link in the chat. We'll talk about it. My guest is potentially standing me. I talked to him this morning. I don't know what's going on. I might potentially be getting stood up, but we shall see. But let's see. He says, facts, we need the cold, hard truth. It isn't all sunshine and rainbows out here. I think that's what the Manosphere does a good job at, giving the cold, hard truth to men. Bernard, you and a few other Manosphere content creators are more fair and balanced. I don't like objective is the right word that I like to use, but okay, I'll take fair and balanced. The others, I can't say so much. The space is divided with a lot of things. I agree with that. It is divided with a whole hell of a lot. Ebo, SO hopeful. Oh, I think, are you that dude that said we were speaking phallically? Is that you? I hope that's not you. He said, I was on this panel where the married guy was speaking like he was single, but the whole time his wife provides for him, works 12-hour shifts. Curious as to who you're talking about. Who are you talking about? That is interesting. I bet it's a strong possibility, probably not even Manosphere, but okay. All right. You noticing Black Manosphere having an impact on society? I think it's stirring the pot of the culture. I think it's definitely stirring the pot of the culture. I think that is undeniable. It's people that I know personally, like women. I know somebody who said their best friend. This chick said her best friend was dating a guy who watched a lot of Manosphere content. Now he was messing up because he was reciting Manosphere talking points to the chick. You're not supposed to do that. You're supposed to know the information for yourself, internalize it, and move accordingly. You don't go up to a chick. You don't be dating a chick or with a chick and saying, well, you're well, seeing as you're 35, that means your value is lower, and I'm 35 and make X amount of dollars, so that means my value is higher. So that puts me here and puts you there, and blah 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 blah. No, you're just supposed to know that you're there and know that she's there, and then move accordingly. You don't go reciting talking points back to them. If she asks, why didn't you call back? Why didn't you text back? You don't say, because I have an abundance mindset. It's like he was on that goofy shit. But the fact of the matter is people, people are noticing it in their regular day-to-day life. They're noticing, like, this person, like, like, women are on the lookout for it. women, like, in real life, women be legit wanting to know, do you listen to these people? Do you listen to, they want to know if you listen to Coach Greg Adams. They want to know if you used to or still hell listen to Kevin Samuels. They want to know that kind of shit. All right, this 30-minute mark. It looked like I maybe stood up. So we're going to put the link in the chat. Look like my guest stood me up. So you good people are the guests today. You audience, you guys are the guests today. So the link is in the chat. He said, yeah, there's an epidemic of dudes going around spouting all these talking points, mannerisms, and phrases, but claiming they're not manosphere. That's an issue. And okay, let me just say it like this. I don't mind it. I just listened to a few videos from the guy named is Medium Man. He stayed dressed down pretty good. He's a sharp dressing brother. A little bit of Kevin Samuels swag, but he he's his own man. I'm not even going to associate him. He's his own man. But here's the deal. I watched one of his videos where he said he's not in the Black Manosphere. I thought he was about to take a crap on the Black Manosphere, but he didn't. He just explained how he came to understand it. He said that he thought it was just a general nickname that they gave to just an online space where men are talking. But he said he did some research and found out it was a little bit more, and found out that, okay, it was a few people that founded it. And when you get officially in, you kind of come in through like a group or a network. Nobody gets formally knighted in or signed any contract or anything like that. It is still sort of like just like a head nod thing when you're in, but but it's like but he basically had to acknowledge that, hey, I just started doing my content just because I was listening to Black YouTube, listening to Black Manosphere, listening to this stuff, and I just thought that there was some value I could add, so I just started doing it. But I wasn't formally, brought in or by anybody. And so that's one example of somebody who uses a lot of Manosphere isms in isms and schisms and talking points. He rehashes a lot of stuff that's lost, a lot of stuff that got kind of lost in the archives of this space when it comes to a lot of the facts and stats, a lot of stuff that we put out a while ago. And then now people are running wild with some of the facts and stats on panels and don't even know where the sources came from. So repetition is the mother of skill. So I like this channel when I found it because I could see that he was, rehashing a lot of that stuff that does need to get rehashed and put a spotlight on again. Because when BGS did it, it's lost in the archives of his channel. It's a lot of stuff is lost in the archives of a lot of channels. I did a lot of streams going over facts and stats and data and all of that. It's lost in the archive. So yeah, somebody does need to focus on that. So I'm good with it. But he said he's not a part of the space, but he did it in a way that I respect it because, he conveniently did it when all the Pearl stuff blew up. I will say that, so it probably was, let me jump off this train while, these tracks are looking a little unhinged and, let me jump off now. But either way it go, he respectfully just acknowledged that, no, I'm not a part of it, but he didn't take a crap on it. So I respect that. What I don't respect is the people that use all the damn talking points, bite and steal the Manosphere whole entire swag. And then after they bite and steal the whole entire swag, they then turn around and say that no, I ain't a part of it. Well, no. They don't turn around and say no, I ain't a part of it. They turn around and say that no, those guys are losers. They just complaining about women. They just da 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 da. You know, that's what I don't like. I don't like when they copied everything from it and then criticize it and then just completely take a crap on it and then go on their channel and do the same thing as it. That's what I don't like. No, I don't. Look, when you say Lapeef, I mean Mr. Let Go be on Lapeef, and he's one of the ringleaders of doing that. But I don't associate that with Jr. I don't associate that with Jr. I don't associate that with. I don't even know if Logic still be on there. Oh shit, my guest was here. My guest was here. I was just about to bring him up. Yeah, stop dropping that link in the chat, RM, because my guest is here. He probably had technical difficulties. My guest is here, so we about to get into it. He came up. He was in the back. I was about to let him up. So we got to do the sound check, all that live on the air. So we about to give this a shot. What is going on? What is going on?
What's going on, man?
Man,
But
nice,
before we
nice.
get into it, oh,
Oh
sorry
yeah,
about
go ahead.
that.
Go ahead. No, I was about to say, nice camera work and setup, man. You got a channel?
Oh yeah. I mean, I'm not really active on it, but I'm about to get back into it.
Okay, cool. Everything looking nice over there. Everything looking nice. What was you about to say? I cut you off.
No, I was asking like, was there an echo or anything like that?
No, you good. Audio
Okay,
good,
cool.
video good. Everything is a-okay. Everything is a-okay. So yeah, welcome aboard. Welcome aboard, man. Glad you can make it. Some of you may know this gentleman. Perfect Billis. Normally behind an avatar. I think this may be my first time seeing you on camera.
Yeah, probably so, man, because I rarely ever do this, man. But here we go.
Here we go. So yeah, no, this is what's up. This is what's up, man. Glad you're here. Glad you're here. Now, I was given the setup earlier to
Yeah.
how we were starting this, how this conversation is started. But real quick, as we go ahead and get into it, I guess give us your background into the space. When did you find it? When did you started listening? When did you start listening? And who you started listening to initially? And then we'll go ahead and get into it. So go ahead. You got the floor. You got the mic.
All right. Now, how did I find this space and where I started off and all? Okay. I was, this is gonna sound so it's gonna sound typical, but my introduction into this space was listening to a video by Tommy Sotomayor. And this was around like 2012, 2013, or somewhere like that. And it was a viral video that had got like more than 2 million views or something like that, where you all may remember like during the late 90s, early 2000s, there was supposed to be this letter that was written supposedly by a black man in response to something that this white woman was supposed to have said about why black men prefer white women or something like that. And the letter was supposed to be like a scathing response to her.
Mm-hmm.
And so, and so Tommy had broke it down to where he was like, man, this was written by a black woman. So he broke it down and all that. So that was my introduction into him. Now, when I first saw that video and he was going over the letter, breaking it down, I thought he was gonna be on some simp shit, like yeah, man, yeah, he sure told her. That's what I thought it was gonna be about. But when I heard him actually go the fuck in, I'm like, oh shit. I'm like, so he actually said it. So that was my introduction to where, like, I'm like, there's people who are out here really like saying the things that I have been, that personally I have been thinking, for a long time now. So I didn't even know that there was even a space called the Manosphere per se. I didn't even know that. But let me catch myself, because even before Tommy, I want to say around 2009 or so, I used to listen to, what's his name? Sergeant Willie Pete, I think his name is.
Yeah, you go way back.
Yeah, I used to listen to him a while ago. But see, again, I didn't consider that Manosphere. The guy, Willie Pete, he just used to talk or whatever, right? And hold on, what the hell? But
What?
anyways, no, I was computer.
Yeah,
Anyway,
look like you froze.
yeah.
Look like you're frozen. Why
But
you?
yeah, yeah. Anyway, so yeah, I was
Okay,
saying
here you go. Here you go.
Sergeant Willie Pete, so yeah, listening to him, the thing with him was I didn't consider him to be like because he used
Wait,
to
wait,
be
hold
all
on.
over
Time
the
out.
place.
Time out. Time out. Time out. What dude?
The hell, what's wrong with this nigga,
What do you
man?
mean? We hate Tommy over here. One, who the hell are you? No, not him. Right? Yeah, Mr. Wrong. Who the hell are you? Somebody time it out. Don't come over here with that. I be talking about how the space divided and all of this and that. Well, I mean, Tommy Sotomayor not a part of the Black Manosphere, but still, he's a black man doing content who speaks up for black men in a certain type of way that's I understand is an acquired taste for some people. But at the end of the day, we don't take shits on men who speak up for men. We don't do that over here. All right. Anyway, carry on. Carry on.
But yeah, so no, I was saying that I didn't consider Sergeant Willie Pete to be like a guy who was speaking on black male issues per se, but because he used to be all over the place, as far as I remember. But as far as me knowing that there was a whole sector per se, when I first came to realize that was Tommy, because from Tommy I then found David Carroll, and then I kind of fell back from a lot of that kind of content for a minute. But then when I popped back up around 2018 or 19 or somewhere like that, that's when I started to come across guys like Obsidian.
Mm-hmm.
I seen AM's channel. Who else? I don't know if I had came across O'Shea yet, but those were the main two. And then I pretty much went down that rabbit hole, and here we are.
Okay, cool. Now this is what I want to get into. Good history. You go way back further than me. So that's cool. But this is what I want to get into. And I remember it was something you said on a panel a long time ago. Well, let me just set it up. I'll say what I said at the beginning of the show
Gotcha.
because a lot of people wasn't listening. I'll set this up and I'll ask my question directly to you. I've said it like 5 times on this show. I'll say it again. The Black Manosphere is essentially a male-centric counterpunch, clapback, or response to the woman-centric propaganda that's put out there against men. That's essentially what the Black Manosphere is. That's what it does. That's what it's been doing. Okay. Now, here's the deal. There are some people who heard that and they heard that message. They heard these black men making a lot of true statements and they liked it and they rallied around it. But internally, some of the men who were listening, they probably had some things. Some of them probably did have some struggles with women, probably had some things that they needed to work on. But instead of looking at, men speaking up for men and just seeing it as just a movement where men are are breaking things down from a male perspective and men are, the world view of men are changing. Some men who had actual issues and problems with women, things they probably needed to work on, they hid behind a lot of those really good arguments and probably used it as a crutch to not, improve or work on the things that they needed to work on internally with themselves to get the results that they wanted, that they were looking for with women. They used those arguments as something that they were going to hide behind. Now, that was never me. I wasn't that guy. I was in it just the speaking up for men and breaking things down and setting the record straight on things. But there were some men, and I think raise your hand like, yeah, you were one of them that essentially was, yes, hiding behind a lot of those good arguments, using them as an excuse, like, yeah, it's not me. These women are messed up. Fuck these bitches. They crazy. They this, they that, they blah, blah, blah. And using that as like your
Yeah.
shield to not, look in the mirror. And I remember it was a long time ago on a panel where you in so many words admitted that you had some, problems you needed to work on so you can
Yeah. I
get the
remember it.
results that you want. Okay, cool. So explain what you said back then.
Okay.
Explain what your issue was back
Um,
then.
I remember that because I think that might have been like the first time that me and you crossed paths. This was
Mm-hmm.
before you started doing content,
Yep.
but you was like in the chat then. I
Yep.
recall I was on a panel with what they used to call her. They used to
Renaissance
call her
woman. This was
Renaissance
yeah,
woman.
the
Yeah,
neutral zone. I used to love the
yeah.
neutral zone. I
So
modeled a lot of my show after that. Just
yeah,
a space where everybody came and it was that's why they called my show Switzerland, a place where everybody come, got their opinion, their views, and then I don't know, shit done went crazy now.
man,
I
that
don't
was the
know, but
crazy thing because when you first took off, they were saying that your show pretty much replaced her. They were saying that what you had became, that's what she was supposed to be. That's what they were saying
yeah,
when you first took off. But
yeah.
anyways,
Yeah,
so I was saying to
real
her,
quick, hold on, real quick.
yeah,
I was sitting back, laying in a cup, waiting for that union between her, Obsidian, and Taz to fall apart and break up. And then I was like, all right, I knew that was gonna fail. Now let me try to get Obsidian over here because Obsidian was on Mixler.
yeah, oh
He
yeah,
left
that's right, that's
YouTube.
right.
He left YouTube. I was like, no, I'm about to bring Obsidian back to YouTube. I gave,
Damn.
gave him a little bit of change, just a little bit of change. Come do a show with me. Come do a show with me. And then and that's how my show started taking off. But anyway, go ahead.
I'm trying to think, man. So okay, that was on Renaissance Woman's panel, and I
Mm-hmm.
forgot exactly what the topic was, but I was explaining to her like when I first came into this space, I was what you would have called red pill rage and all that stuff.
Mm-hmm.
These bitches, pretty much blaming them for everything. But when I look back on my life and I look back at my actual experiences, I realized that if I had to break it down, number wise, I would say that maybe 50% or so of that was probably my doing, because, and see, this is the part that we're talking about, man, that whole looking in the mirror and, that
Mm-hmm.
part right there. Cause I realized like you got some social issues that you need to work on, which by the way, I did, which is why I say my shit wasn't really that bad if I was being rational instead of just being caught up in my feelings. So
Mm-hmm.
I had some social issues that I had to work on some while ago, because at one point in my life, it's like I was, but because of life experiences, is what I was telling her. Because of life experiences, I have been truly fucked over by family members, those I grew up in a household with, um, peers and all that stuff, which pretty much led to me having like this extremely bitter outlook on life, and then what that led to me having that bitter outlook being due to being legitimately done wrong, that led to me, is like now I meet new people and what they had done to me, I'm taking out my frustrations out on these new people, pretty much creating a self-fulfilling prophecy. So I had to realize that a lot of that shit was going on. And of course, you can always fall back on the excuse, well, yeah, I was done dirty, right? I really was. But like I was telling her, I'm like, in the grand scheme of things, man, nobody gives a fuck what you've been through. You know what I'm saying? Don't
Mm-hmm.
nobody give a fuck what you've been through. All they care about is how are you treating me right here and right now? And I had to realize that. So due to my life experiences on top of the bitterness and all that shit, I mean, due to also how I was living at that time, oh, I was also extremely confrontational. I mean, just on go at all times. Ready to flash out anytime. So I had to correct a lot of that shit and realize, like, man, calm the fuck down, man. Calm down. Be more approachable, be more sociable, and all that stuff. Because if I'm being honest, there were a lot of women in my life, man, growing up when I was younger and stuff, who would actually approach me, you know. Now, of course, but the way I was thinking back then, I didn't really have the mindset to see it, because I pretty much interpreted everything, anybody coming to me or whatever, as being you got some kind of ulterior motive, So it was hard for me to have friends. It was hard for me to have to deal with the opposite sex and so forth because I was thinking like that. So again, I realized that, like I said, maybe half, maybe even more of that shit that I was dealing with was my own doing. And to prove that, I actually, put it to use, like, all right, man, let me change my attitude. Let me calm it down. Let me be easier to deal with. Let me just be the person that I really want to be and see, whether or not I get better results. And when I chose that approach, I mean, things changed almost overnight. And this is not to say that there wasn't some bullshit, even after that, because you got some
My
people out
bad.
here who truly are fucked. You really do got some people, but that wasn't the norm. I mean, here I am, I'm in my mid 30s and shit, and it's like now I can get along and talk to women who are like in their early to mid 20s and shit. Even now, because I'm more laid back and stuff now, and it's like I just don't have those problems now that I made that correction.
All right. So, would you say? So, would you say like okay? So, it sounds like you're saying it was just an overall, just socially awkwardness, just from your past experiences. What the hell? My bad, man. My bad. I'm trying to. This new phone, it does not go on silence. It is actually got a mind of its own. I'm trying to. Okay, got all. Okay, I just. Damn. Okay, I'm practically on airplane mode at this point. All right, it shouldn't make a noise. All right, and it's still vibrating. Goddamn. Okay. All right.
Yeah.
So, all right. So you sound like it was just some overall socially awkwardness. Like, so was it like did it manifest in issues with you approaching women, or was it like after you would get with women, you would just be just a train wreck while with them, or was it affecting you from even getting them?
Okay, let me see how I can put this. Now I know it like when I would get with them. I mean, I grew up around dysfunction, as I explained
Mhm.
before. And when I say I grew up around dysfunction, I didn't see situations where, couples are like physically violent with each other. I didn't, I grew up around situations where some of them have even taken lives. I grew up like that. So getting into dating and stuff early on, I was pretty much I had that same dysfunctional mindset. Now I ain't never put my hands on nobody. I was with no crap like that. But to always be on edge, thinking that it's gonna be some bullshit at some point, I was always looking for it. And you know that, of course, if you go looking for it, you're gonna find it at some point, even if it's not really there. But as far as the approach, I don't think I really did much approaching back then, because I mean my confidence was shot to hell. Yeah, I didn't have confidence enough in myself to even make any approach. But the ironic thing was that they used to approach me all the time, no. But like I say, because my mind was so fucked up, I would find a way to fuck it up.
Mm. So did you come to this space hearing these arguments and hearing these points? Like, okay, you said you was red pill rage, and I gotta ask ask this question. Like, would you say that there was a time or period where you were possibly like on the incel spectrum at a stage or point in your life?
Hmm, let me see. I would say like in my late teens to early 20s, I went through that. Cause see, around that time too, man. Now I'm tempted to blame the fact that I was like very overweight around that time in my life. I'm
Okay.
tempted to blame that, but I don't even think that'll be true because even then I used to get approached, I won't say a lot, but a decent amount of times. But again, I would find a way to fuck it up. So that was going on. And like I said, taking no responsibility for the role that I played in it. I would flash out, be mad at them and all that kind of shit.
Man, see, that's different. That's a part of the equation that I didn't exactly know. I didn't know you was like lashing out, blowing up, getting mad
Now,
at people.
I mean, I wouldn't.
I thought it was more from a an area of just social awkwardness or some type of anxiety, and maybe that's a bit of it. Maybe
Oh
it's
no,
like
that was a part of it too. But like I
yeah.
said, because my thing, I would go from one extreme to the other. On one hand, it would be, as you just described, the social anxiety. But on the flip side of it, like I said, I used to flash the fuck out, man.
Give me an example of what you mean about this flashing out. Like I'm not even getting it. Give me an example of what you mean.
I mean, like I said, it ain't no violent shit or nothing like that, man. But it'll just be things where, because like I say, bro, I used to be so fucking paranoid about things, man, to the point. I'm thinking about situations where they may approach me or something and strike up conversation. Now, back then, I didn't know how to interpret that shit, So let's say, they strike up a conversation. They're asking like general questions to try and get the conversation moving. Now, me, the way I was thinking back then, I might say something like, "Look, the fuck you asking me so many questions for? Like, I mean, who the fuck sent you over here to, I might say some shit like that, and here we go, we off to the, here we go at each other's throat and shit now. So whatever used to go through my mind back then, as far as my suspicions, it came out almost in the most vulgar way possible, because like I was trying to hurt feelings.
Mm. So would you say that some of the rhetoric that you heard, in the manosphere, when you was in that mindset, would you say that some of the rhetoric that you heard, sort of, I don't know, justified you being in that mindset or in that state? And then let's talk into where the change came in, and what part did the Black Manosphere play in cultivating that change, or was it a complete detriment to that change? Or let's try to go there. So like what but just to make sure I get the question clear, ask the question clearly. Would you say the Black Manosphere content, when you was in that particular state, it was sort of helping to you were using it as a shield or a reason or as an excuse to stay in that state? Would you
Now,
say?
okay. Now the thing was, I wasn't in that mindset when I came to the manosphere. I wasn't. Now the reason
Okay.
why I would say I was red pill rage when I came to this space is because when it came to like, times where I was legitimately fucked over, when I would deal with, because there was a lot of things that I would see go, not just me. Because like I say, I seen a lot of shit in my life, man, happen to other people, friends, family members, and so forth. Seen a lot happen to men, right? And it was just an overall culture that I had never verbalized what I felt before. So even though, as far as my own personal shit, for the most part, I was, for the most part over that, it was more so the cultural issues that I had an issue with that I had never verbalized before I came to this space, because as we know, it's kind of a taboo to even speak on these things, and anyway, so yeah. So when I came over here, it was more so I was very vocal. I mean, not in a vulgar way, but I was very vocal about a lot of what I experienced growing up, things that had happened to me, things that I seen, and how I know things tend to go in this culture. So yeah, I wasn't in the rage part, not in that sense of just talking crazy or no shit like that, but it was just my first time being around other men who felt the same way and who would also actually say it.
Mm-hmm.
Because before, man, like I said, before coming on here, bro, a lot of guys, we talk a lot about barbershop talk and all that shit, but even that was kind of watered down,
I
really,
agree.
you
I
know.
agree. It's sanitized compared to some of the conversations in the manosphere. It is. It
Yeah,
is.
even that was kind of watered down, So coming on
It'd
here,
be it'd be it'd be low key a lot of simp talk in there. I mean, it'd be men chopping it up talking about women, but it'd still be a lot of simp talk going on in there.
yeah. So that's why I disagree with some guys when they say, "Man, barbershop." I'm like, no, man, no, bruh. I mean, I hear you, but not really. But yeah, coming here was the first time I heard guys actually be honest. And like I say, not necessarily in a vulgar type way or being aggressive, but just simply telling it how it is. That was my first time experiencing that. So of course I wanted to get my 2 cents in.
All right. So in what way, because you sound like you said that you okay, in what way did you say would you say the Black Manosphere helped you when you was in that state, in what way did it help or not help? You know.
Well, I won't say that it didn't help or whatever, but I would say it helped in the sense that I was able to find, like-minded men who had pretty much had the same, the same, maybe not the same exact life experiences, but who had the same outlook on things as I did, because I don't know if anybody in the chat room can relate, but until you find this space, or or whatever, for years it can often feel like it may be only you who are thinking these things, and it's like you almost know better than to even say these things, so to come here and actually verbalize these things and to start breaking it down to how it impacts us from a cultural perspective, I feel like that was helpful as well, because to walk around with these thoughts in mind and stuff, I mean, I don't know crazy shit, but to walk around thinking these things, knowing the truth about this, but never really expressing it because you kind of know what happens when you do. I feel like that was a help, because now it's like we feel like, okay, now that we can be honest about what's going on, now a lot of us who really are having problems out here, now we can actually start moving towards some solutions.
Mm-hmm. And where exactly would you say you found your solutions? Like how did you get to the solutions? Well, first let me back up and ask you this. Your issue was never was your issue ever just like, you was broke, you was poor, didn't have any particular, like, had a lack of, money or particular skills or anything like that? Was that ever your issue? Like, was that something that you needed to work on?
I mean, it's when I was growing up and stuff. I mean, early 20s and all that stuff.
But
Yeah, I
eventually,
mean, yeah, I pretty much grew up, I ain't have nothing and all that kind of stuff. Um, and in fact, see, the thing about me, I mean, I always been a hustler. I've always,
yeah.
found ways, to found ways to get to it,
Okay. So you
and
you weren't you weren't you weren't you weren't some you weren't broke in your mama basement during
oh
during
no, no,
during
no,
this time. That's all I'm getting at. You weren't
no.
just trying to dispel some of the myths and stereotypes during this time. But it was more just some internal or
Yeah,
worldview issues that you had, some worldview issues that you had to work out. So it sounds like you're saying, you can correct me if I'm wrong. It sounds like you're saying this space, just being around, I guess, like-minded brothers, it sort of helped you just be able to release or get it off. You get a lot of that steam out, so to speak. You
yeah,
would say that's
yeah,
about accurate?
yeah. You can
Because
say that. You can say that. Because one thing that was driving the fuck out of me, man, which kind of still does, is like when we talk about the single mom conversation, for example. um One thing that drives the fuck out of me about that, because like I said, now we're able to be honest about it, but before you weren't able to be honest about that. The official narrative was that, the average black male is out here just making babies, and walking away from the family and all that shit,
mm-hmm,
right? But we come over here, you know, and now you got guys breaking down statistics, pretty much, getting that narrative on up out of here. So that kind of stuff I feel like has been helpful. Now, as far as from a number standpoint, considering how many black males there are that are in this country, it may seem like the impact of knowing this information may not be that helpful per se, but at the same time, as long as we're getting the information out there, man, that's how I look at it.
yeah. Yeah, no doubt. Let me get to these super chats. Soul T Balls. I can guarantee by the end of this week, I gotta get to work on it. You're gonna have your own special greeting, man. I appreciate all the super chats. You're gonna have your own little special greeting when you come through. But it says Book of the Fallen, 3-in-1, says, on the eve of a hallowed saint, his voice ignited a fire of inspiration among many men. This fire has become a beacon of truth and shield against lies and deception. Thank you for the super chat. Do appreciate that. Thank you very much. Scroll of gravitas, 2-in-1. The gravity of thine sphere hath the culture in its orbit. Silence is the main currency, but gravity influences the course of all. Man, this super chat be too good. The course of all around it, man. It's like, I swear, this nigga. He is just writing the Bible with them super chats, man. Damn. That should be too good. But he says, is bro from New Orleans? He sound like P. You can answer that one.
Well, yeah, I'm from the outskirts of New Orleans, but yeah.
Yeah, I hear it now. I wasn't even paying attention, but yeah, right when you said, but yeah, I mean, I can hear it. I can hear it all day.
These last $2, I'm not gonna lose.
All right. But no, shout out to Hoop Jargon. Appreciate everybody who's supporting the stream. Appreciate everybody who's supporting the stream. So we kind of got up to speed, kind of to where you at now. You ain't red pill raging no more. The space kind of sound like it. I guess helped guide you out of the red pill rage. Would you say?
Yeah, into more of a rational standpoint now, to where I can take a step back and just look at things, without getting my feelings involved in it, you know. And like I said, a lot of times, you have guys who are still in that phase, and it'd be kind of hard to get along with them dudes, man, because they still be going through it. And when you talk the way that me and you have talked, starting off, a lot of they don't like that shit. When you tell them, like, look, man, before you start blaming other people, before you say that it's an issue outside of yourself, check yourself first. Make sure it's not you first, because that's what I live by. Before I blame anybody or anything, I'm always make sure I'm not fucking up first. So a lot of dudes, they ain't gonna want to hear that. They gonna just want to jump straight to it's something or somebody else. And that's one of the reasons why, when I became more rational in my approach, and that's one of the kind of reasons why I just, kind of fell back a little bit and stayed silent. I ain't necessarily go anywhere, but it's like I ain't participate in as many debates and panels as I used to, because I'm like, some of these dudes will take your fucking head off, man, if you don't agree with them. You can become a simp real quick in this space.
Yeah, and no, that you kind of led me right to my next question, because there are some people who do what I call, they kind of graduate, and you could graduate and stick around and
Yeah.
still support the message if you believe in the message, and give you insights here and there. But then there's some people, and I've talked to some subscribers who they
Yeah.
used to listen, and maybe they was red pill raging back in 2019, 2020, but they good now, they cool, they
Yeah.
laid back and they chill, and and they got all they could out of the space. Like I respect and actually sort of expect some people, not all, but some
Yeah.
people are going to listen to it, get what they need from it. It's not, I don't even view it necessarily as a place that you just stay indefinitely. Like it's something like, I don't want to sound like the damn View or nothing, but I understand some people. It's like you come here and kind of to heal, so to speak, if that makes sense. Like I understand that some people do that. They going through it, they red pill raging, and they they want to come here and get it off their chest and be heard. But eventually, once you internalize aspects of the message and you're moving accordingly, you get out of that state, and you don't necessarily need the space. Now, what I do hate, I should say, hate this with a passion. Some people, they get to that point where you're at, and then all of a sudden, instead of just pulling back, like, okay, I got what I needed from it, I'll add a little bit
I
to the
already know where this is
conversation
going.
here.
But go ahead. Go ahead. Go ahead.
I'll add a little bit to the conversation here. I'll add a little bit there. No, some of them want to go for a heel turn, just turn against the space and just start trying to burn it to the ground. It's like they go from being red pill raging at the women to now they red pill raging at the men, and that's where that you get, or you said you get turned into a simp real fast if you just you get to the point to where you start saying things casually that that's not just all just blood and guts and ready for war.
Yeah, that's what I'm
women.
saying, man.
It's like, yeah, that's where it gets crazy, and it's almost like that person is like that person has not reached that state of, for lack of a better word, what I call graduating. You
Yeah.
know, he hasn't graduated. But go ahead. It looked like you look like you had
Oh
something to
no,
say on
oh
that
no,
one.
I was just gonna say about that, man. Like, you know, how can I put this? Because some of these dudes, man, some of them probably will drive you there. Now, from my understanding, it's not so much the content creators, it's more so the audience at times, man. Because
Yeah, yeah, definitely.
some of these dudes are fucking drove, bro. You know, and I don't think they, I don't think it's no helping some of these dudes because, like you say, a lot of them, you know, I mean, they're permanently fucked up, and they don't really intend on, I guess you can say coming to a middle ground per se. It's like they want to stay angry about the stuff, and and those are the guys who, when you come over here and you try and have a constructive dialogue, that's not so much about lashing out and man these women, you just having a rational dialogue. Like I say, in their mind, you're a simp for that, you know. And like I say, they can pretty much drive you to that point if you allow them. But I don't have anything to substantiate this, but I would venture to say that the majority of the listeners in this space, I would say they're rational based on what I see, but
Hmm.
it's just them few motherfuckers who are so loud. That's the problem. They're in the minority, I think, but it's just that
Hmm.
they are so goddamn loud that they drown out the rational people.
Yeah, yeah, that's an issue. And listen, it, it's a way to draw a real hard line when it comes to women, but be laid back, cool, and chill about it. Like when it, Coach Greg Adams, for example. I mean, I would say he's a black pill MGTOW, but he's not angry. He ain't
Yeah.
mad. He ain't red pill raging about it. He's found a nice, cool, steady state with it. You call it free agent lifestyle. I'm just living my life. I'm not
Mhm.
getting tied down by any woman. I'm not about to walk into the buzzsaw again because he said he's been in the belly of that beast. He's been in that divorce court. I have too.
Mm.
So but he just had a nice, cool, laid back, chill way. He got, seemingly, I don't know how much money the man make, but he's seemingly successful, and he's out just living his life, and he's cool and he's chill about it. But he has all the knowledge and insight and game and wisdom, and he
Yeah.
gives it to people. And I have no doubt that there's some people in his audience that are probably, still raging out about it. But I mean, but that's why it goes back to that term I keep using, for lack of a better word. You could tell when somebody has graduated and they can just speak from a calm, cool, laid back perspective and just give the game, give the knowledge, and just give perspective on it. And men could listen to it, hear it, perceive it, internalize some aspects of it, and possibly have a worldview change and move accordingly. I think that's ideally the goal in the space. That's one of the goals in this
Yeah.
space. And I do think that there are some people who they get stuck at a certain point. They get stuck at a certain point and they stay at the rage mode. And I think that's independent of whether or not they're doing good in life, they got money or whatever. I think they get stuck at that. They get absolutely stuck at that. Ike in the building. What's going on, Ike? Salute, salute, salute. Um, yeah. Well, hold on. Actually, I gotta finally take this phone call, so I'm a pass it. I'm a pass it to you. Let you talk on that. I'm gonna mute up and take this call. Somebody is calling me like crazy. Hold on.
All right.
Hold up.
I don't really have a whole lot to say about that graduation piece, except for the fact that I would think that if you came into this space on the red pill rage thing, then I would think that once you graduate away from that part of it, I would think that you are able to now have rational conversations about what's really going on out there, and we can get to some solutions at that point. Because and then on top of that, the conversation isn't really so much about critiquing the opposite sex per se, once you get over that red pill rage thing, because I recall, like, in when was that, man? 2019 or 2020. I don't know if it's still going on right now or not, but the Manosphere started having like a lot of business and networking type panels as well. And truth be told, that actually helped me because that's how I managed to get into the field of web development. From talking to a couple of guys actually on one of those business and networking panels. So if you're a red pill rage guy, all you want to do is hear guys get on here and rant about the females. You would not have been receptive to hearing something like that. Someone talking about how you can up your game economically and stuff. You wouldn't have been there for that, because to you that would have been some boring shit. That would have been some simp shit, because you're not on these females cases, right? And to kind of pivot a little, you know it used to be some of the females. I used to go over and holler at some of them. I mean, I guess you can say they were the opposite of us, where they would critique the men. And so sometimes I would go over to their channels. I mean, I'm cool with a lot of them still. And, we'll have conversations with them. And boy, I mean, with some of them though, man, it's like when they would get into their grievances with men, it's like I could have rational conversations with them. But when shit started going too far, it's like, all right, y'all, that's when you start slowly backing out. Like, all right, y'all, I'm gonna holler at y'all later on, man, because this shit here, boy, y'all niggas tripping, son. But yeah, man. So I feel like the whole red pill rage thing, is kind of what gives a lot of us a bad name. Those of us who are here to have those constructive dialogues and stuff. And if you're stuck on that, then I kind of feel like you really may not have a purpose here, any real purpose, because a lot of us have genuinely seen some things and been through some things in our lifetimes. And some of us may still be going through some things. And it's like a lot of us just really want to verbalize it because, as I explained earlier, Black American culture is not a place where you can speak freely and truthfully about a lot of things. Only way you can speak truthfully and freely, well, not, I won't even say truthfully, but the only way you can speak freely is if something that you're saying fits a particular narrative. That's the only way you're allowed to speak freely in Black American culture for some reason, But if you're speaking about, something over here, then that's when the pitchforks come out and stuff like that. And that is the reason why the Black Manosphere exists. Because, and I talked a little bit ago about, go and talk to the women and all that. But truth be told, I really don't know why there's even a male equivalent really of the Manosphere. I really don't understand why, because they've pretty much had a chokehold on the mainstream media in order to, get their message out, in order to say Black men ain't this, Black men. I mean, because I really wish Bernard was here for this one, man. But I'm gonna say
I'm
this.
back. I'm back. I'm back.
Nah,
I'm back. I'm back.
yeah,
No,
see?
no, yeah. No, I had to take an important call. It was a situation at my son's school.
Gotcha.
Had to
Ooh.
had to had to handle
Everything
it.
all
Had
right,
to
huh?
handle it. Yeah, yeah. No,
Well, good.
everything good. Everything good. Everything good. Um, Shout out to Jackie Jack in the building. Says great conversation. I gravitated to the Black Manosphere for some of the same reasons as the guest. You was red pill raging. No, just you. I was about to roast you up. I was about to roast you up. You found out your fashion degree wasn't gonna get you no man, wasn't gonna get you no high value man. You started red pill raging. People were actually being honest about Black people and culture. Support Bernard and hit the like and super chat. I'm just playing, Jackie. I'm just playing. But no, thank you for the super chat. Appreciate
What
that.
do we get for $10? Everything you want.
Where are we at? Okay, yep. Thank you for pulling that one up. Scroll of the the laureate. I think I said that right. 2 and 3. Thine has been through the trials between the crimson columns, and bestowed with the critical thinking, deliberate discourse, and debate, but most importantly, mainly stoicism. Thank you for the super chat, dude.
What do we get for $10? Everything you want.
All right, all right. Thank you to everybody supporting the stream. Appreciate each and every one of you. Jackie said she's still down there. She's still red pill raging. She's all right. So we joined by Lamar Odom. I'm going to be going to him pretty soon. Going to be going to Lamar Odom pretty soon. But but yeah, no, definitely definitely great discussion. I'm trying to think. I had another question that I was
Oh,
going to get
let's
out.
go.
It'll come back to me. It'll come back to me. But no, definitely I like, yeah, I just like how you walk through the whole process of where you was at when you came to the space, how you went through how you went through it and kind of worked it out while here, and then got to the point where you reach like what I consider graduation. I like that. I like that. A brother, go from coming in through here red pill raging, and then walking out peacefully. I like that. I like that. But Hoop Jargon, aka Lamar Odom, in the building. What's going on? What you got on this conversation?
I appreciate how candid the brother is, because we all know, like, whatever point that you come to this space is wherever you at, and everybody not the same place. And brother, said that you a little overweight, you having difficulties with the women folk in certain capacities, maybe some angry issues. So when you come here, this is like a place where you can be candid. You can be about what exactly you see, and you say it in a very abrupt fashion in the Black Manosphere. So man, I just remember the Manosphere meetup 2 years ago, damn near, well, a year and a half ago. I damn near lost my best friend over this shit, because I was like, I speak in this affirmative, and that's what it is. And now, was I at a point where I was kind of like red pill raging? Yeah, I was, but I had a girlfriend at the time. So I mean, I still have a girlfriend. With the same girl I'm still with, but it's almost like people say, like, okay, yeah, so you're here because you're incel. No, not true. Not true on any spectrum, man. And you keep calling me Lamar Odom, which is, I mean, true in real life. I'm 6'7". I'm a big dude. I have no problem getting women at all. It's just like when you kind of deconstruct like the mating and dating situation, and like the female to male dynamics. It's a little frustrating or agitating. Let me say that when what the corporate line is, you know what I'm saying? Like, as far as men, you can't say this, and women, you gotta let just women just have carte blanche basically to say and do whatever. And as a guy who's been a Casanova for a long time before I met my lady, like, no, like, you don't have to do that. But it never was a real space that you can express what you know and what you see and what you observe, in the market. And this place served as that great space. And I got to be honest, man, Kevin Samuels brought me to this point, because I didn't know. I just didn't know. I mean, the algorithm for YouTube did not guide me here. It just didn't. But since about 2020, I've been here, and shout out to Lil Big Nate. Lil Big Nate, gave me, a platform to speak and to, kind of voice my opinions and things of that nature, and have a chance to meet up with other brothers. I met Bernard in real life, Jab, Obsidian, and so forth. It serves its purpose in the right way, because men need this outlet. This is more or less a water cooler or a locker room situation where you just got to get your shit off. And I love that space for that reason, because it has to happen somewhere outside of your region. And I think this is the perfect liaison for that as we go forward.
Yeah, good stuff. Definitely agree. Hold on, I think you got some. I'm gonna mute you up temporarily, because it's when I talk. Yeah, it's no background when you talking. It's only background when I'm talking. But yeah, it definitely serves its purpose. Definitely serves its purpose. Definitely serves its purpose. And like I said, the biggest thing that and BGS actually talked about this too. it alters and changes the worldview of black men. It helps black men to see and view things differently. It helps them to understand, you know, where they're at as far as what was said. Because I want to go back to something that Perfect Billis said. I want to go back to something the Perfect Billis said when he was talking about, you know, the content in the space where, you know, there's content in the space where people are talking about, very, getting various skills or this or that or blah blah blah. You know, it's content in the space to talk about that, and that's not the predominant content in the space. Like I said, all the true business is done behind the scenes, and people get together and network and work on that and build those things. And a lot of, like you said, damn, I forgot, what did you say you gained, or what did you say you got gained in the space?
Who, me or him?
No, I'm talking to you, Perfect Billis.
Oh no, I was saying that for the first time in life, there was a space where you can just come and just tell the truth.
No,
about what you had.
I'm not talking about past that part. I'm talking about when you said you got into web development.
Oh yeah,
networking
web
in this space.
development. Because there was a panel that Obsidian held back in either 2019 or 2020, where you had guys who were talking about lucrative careers and stuff, and a couple of guys said they were into that field, and that was actually what I wanted to study back when I was in high school. But that's a whole nother topic in itself. But one of the guys on there, we talked behind the scenes, and he pretty much gave me some resources to go check out, some courses and things like that. And yeah,
and that's what's up. That's what a lot of people do. They end up meeting in this space. They end up, like I said, we end up funneling people to certain areas. That's not the majority of the content in this space. If somebody is doing a channel where they're talking IT, that can be dry and boring. But the people who are interested, we make sure that we're connected with the people to get them connected. So, and that's where it's at, and that's what it's about, and that's what the space has always been doing. A lot of people, I talk to a lot of people that say they went from making regular money to, through some of their connections that they've made in this space. There's a group of black men networking and working together, and a lot of people went from making just regular money to six figures or close to six figures. So that is a big part of it. It's not the bulk of the content, and I wouldn't expect it to be. But it's definitely something that goes on here. But the main thing is the overall general worldview, the worldview of black men being changed within this network. But I want to go back to something that Hoop said, because the idea, the notion is that, man, y'all stumble in this space because y'all just can't get no women. And Hoop, you said you always been able to get on with the ladies. So explain, somebody who always been able to get on with the ladies, I want to know what brought you to this space and what value you found in it. But to typically just explain what brought you here, because that's we all supposed to be in sales who couldn't get no women, but
right. Well, I go a step further, man. I played pro ball overseas, man. I've had best that women have to offer the world over. In Germany, Switzerland, Portugal, Dominican Republic, I've experienced the forbidden fruit, as it were. So it's like that part don't mean shit to me. When people say shit like that, it's just like it's a trope. Kev, you say shit all the time. It's just a trope to try to stymie the message, as it were. So to answer your question, what brought me over, knowing that already, it's just was like, I'm gonna put it this way. Y'all see my Greek affiliation. I'm a member of Alpha Phi Fraternity Incorporated. The liberal space that this kind of encapsulates, you can't really talk against code. And by code, I mean you can't speak against all liberal principles to believe all women, objectives. As a man, you supposed to do all this, sim shit, and I don't have to run that down. You guys know what I'm speaking about. Mm-hmm. So me as a person, man, I've always been in these spaces where, like, black professionals, so I'm from Houston, I live in LA, but I've always been the guy pushing against that shit. I'm like, yeah, I hear you, but that's some bullshit. One of our initiatives with Alpha Alpha is like a voteless people is a hopeless people. I'm just like, since I voted for Barack Obama in 2008, I've not voted since, and I'm anti-vote. And Bernard, I know you know
I
that
got
about me.
I got my views on it. Go out there and cast and write in Patrice O'Neal, man. Like,
Man,
just
real
do a
shit,
protest vote. Do a protest
real
vote.
shit. But I
Write
love
in
Patrice
Patrice.
O'Neal so much, man. Patrice O'Neal was my favorite comedian before he died, and when he died, man, it hurt me so much because he was my favorite comedian when he was alive, and nobody knew who this dude was. This dude is hilarious. But anyway, so the Manosphere space, was basically like it was confirmation that my thoughts that I had, I'm like, okay, this status quo bullshit in the black community or man community, it's horse shit. And Bernard, I texted you earlier, man. I want you to watch that video because there are a lot of dudes, man, who navigate through life, and and there's trans men who from a woman going to a man. I actually work with one, and it's like you have no clue about what that process is becoming a man. When people respect what you say and what you do, and then motherfuckers make it like it's so like palatable, like, oh well, I feel like a man today, I'm a man. Like, no. You don't know how those locker room conversations are. How when you have to really prove yourself, and when somebody gonna, try to hold you, as it were, when you gotta stand up for yourself. Motherfuckers, in that spectrum, just try to step in and just talk just because you feel like a man today. No. When you're actually a man, you have to stand up and defend yourself on some old, I ain't gonna say life or death shit, but on some old, I'm gonna try my best to beat the oblivion out of you. You gotta stand up to that shit, right? So with all that being said, this space provides that area where like guys who are battle tested, as it were, and you can talk and we can go through our, life experiences and things we've seen, things we know, and then just cipher, man. And some things we part ways on, as we know. Goddamn. Shout out to Obsidian, man. Fences make good neighbors. We know about that shit. So it's just funny, man. Even in the sports sector, what I do mostly, I see the same shit. So this is the best, realm, in my opinion, to kind of, cipher together, parse ways, and kind of diligently go through like ideologies and just keep moving forward. So I just wanted to add that as we go forward, man.
All right. One thing that I want to throw out there now before Perfect Billis got here, I was pointing out that one area where the Manosphere definitely succeeded, and that's at making it to the point to where the type of conversations that we're having, they're happening all over the place. And somebody I forgot who it was, who tried to argue that in the chat room. But basically, you go to any type of social media, no matter who it is doing the talking, they're either directly, indirectly, or just lightweight responding to Manosphere concepts. It's like it's blown up like that. Are y'all seeing the same thing, or am I tripping?
Oh yeah, I see it a lot on Facebook.
Mm-hmm.
There's a lot of, like, for example, you will see a lot of women, for instance, a real man does X, Y, and Z type posts. And see, in those and those kind of posts are always good for the comments, right? Because that's one of the first things you probably do is jump down to the comments to see who's saying what. And you find that a lot of the rebuttals are usually things that we've been saying. Now, granted that a lot of people don't really engage in these conversations for real, not on the level that we probably do or have done, but they're pretty close. You can tell that these are casual observers who know some stuff.
Yeah. You could definitely see it in the comment section. You could
I'm gonna say this,
definitely
Bernard.
go ahead.
Yeah, man. So what we do here is definitely it's definitely matriculating to the general population, man. When I talk to my friends, man, they are getting this stuff now. They can't remember the content creators, but the talking points are succinct, and it's a good thing, man. Like what we're doing is a good thing. Now, is there a lot of fuck shit in the minutia of it? Yeah, absolutely. I've learned so quickly, man. You can't listen to everybody Manosphere centric because it's all over the goddamn place. But what you kind of do is you kind of center yourself to like people that make sense, people who are upstanding brothers, and I have the privilege to have met a lot of you cats, so I can kind of parse and understand things from a grounded level, where it's not just any and everybody. Because I mean, listen, man, we're all men, we're all susceptible to fallacy, susceptible to malfeasance, as it were. But the message is succinct. And I know some people just overdo it in whatever capacity you want to say it. Like, I'll give an example, like MTR, man. Like, some people don't agree with his content strategy. He's chilling with Melly Monaco. He's chilling with Mel King, all that good shit. And I'm not going to say who don't like that. But, bro, it's like, you know what I'm talking about. So, I'm not.
Well, I don't know who don't like it. I mean, I know who did content on it, but I don't know who don't like it. But all right.
Well, I'm gonna say it. Jap is very anti MTR, which whatever, man. Like, bro, like rock out how you rock out, man. I let content creators do what they do, man, because our lives are like just that. It's our lives. So I'm not here to tell no nigga, yo, fuck with this girl. In lightweight, put out there you with her, but not be with her. And then 2 weeks later, mess with another content creator, because it's just a little goofy. I get it. But I'm not here to
that's like messing with two chicks at the same office, a couple cubicles down from each other, man.
Real shit. But I'm not here to be the arbiter for that. Like, if you got the ability for those two content creators to have a affinity for you in that space, bro, do your thing. Like, do what you do. So with all that being said, this is what it's all about, though. This is the locker room shit all over again, bro. Like, I mean, I got my name for myself playing sports. And in the locker room, man, it's just like all kind of opinions all over the place, but manly men for the most part. And you just parse it out. Verbally we do it on YouTube, obviously, but sometimes it's physically in that space. And it is what it is. And so the Black Manosphere is perfect to kind of just, smooth is not the word I'm going to use. When you just kind of, sift all through those things and we just come to a consensus. And that's why I'm here. And that's why I appreciate being a part of this.
Right on. Salty Balls in the building says, noop. But much respect to the 06's Hoop Jargon Media Network.
He's a Kappa, it sounds like. Yeah, so, man, yeah, A5, man, all day. But, yeah, man.
Okay.
Much love to Divine Nine, man.
That's what's up. Yeah, I got to look, Salty Balls, all this, the super chatting you're doing, man. I don't know if you got something you want to promote. You obviously got the wrench. You put the links in the chat. RM will spam the links out. As far as I know, you don't got a channel. I do know you was trying to drop Machismo TV link in here. There, just let us know anything you want to report, or promote any links you want dropped. Let us know, we got you. But Salty Balls back in the building with another one. Says liberated 3 and 4 says reactive rage still consumes the minds of many. Beware, this is still bondage, as the awakening is. But okay, he be getting me with some of these words. Pyrrhic victory, as the goals of thine enemies is to make us suffer. Liberation lies with stoicism. Thank you. Man, them super chats be reading like Sun Tzu. Yeah. Shout out to you. Do appreciate that. Yes, these other noobs. That's another brother I met. Another brother I met. Another noob, as y'all say. I meet lots of these brothers. Lots of these brothers doing good. Those that aren't, we can. Hit us up. We'll connect you with who you need to be connected to. John Paul D. Waterford. Show idea is Kevin Samuels, Andrew Tate, and men. Okay, Kevin Samuels, Andrew Tate, and men of the same ilk, the modern day manifestations of Neo, with the Manosphere, Black Manosphere in particular, be the Nebuchadnezzar or Zion. Is the Matrix a necessary evil? Interesting. We're gonna talk about that one. We're gonna talk about that when. I don't know if I like you dropping that one right there, even though he did mention the Matrix. It's that's for when somebody is doing a deflection, that when they dodging a question. But anyway, we got to make one of those without the dodging and incoming deflection up there. But all right, John Paul D. Waterford, good questions, good questions. We'll go around the panel with that. We'll break it bit by bit, one at a time. It's Kevin Samuels, Andrew Tate, and men of the same ilk, the modern day manifestations of Neo. I would say yes, but we're talking metaphorically, and I don't want to get too weird with it. But at the end of the day, like I said, a lot of men grow up with a certain mindset. They got certain views. Not all, but I definitely think the majority of men. Don't, overvalue women and undervalue themselves. And I think, male centric content that really defeats, debunks, breaks down, and completely dunks on and destroys a lot of the woman centric pop propaganda against men is invaluable. And I think what that I think ultimately what that does is, like, they are in a matrix kind of sense. They are waking men up. They are waking men up. So in that sense, I would have to say yes, the analogy is accurate. What say you two?
Oh, he can take it.
I ain't gonna lie. I watched all the Matrices. I don't get the analogy all the way, so if you can be running by me, just be real with you.
See, now the Matrix was one of my favorite long before I ever found about any red pill space, any manosphere space. The Matrix was my was one of my favorite movies. It was my favorite at one point. It kind of got dropped down to top 5 now. But yeah, it was one of my favorites. So I rocked with the Matrix before all of this. And but Perfect Billis, you was trying to go in. You was trying to say something.
Oh no, I was just saying that's pretty much why I passed it to him, because I was thinking the same thing. Like, I didn't really get the analogy.
Niggas don't break it down for us, Bernard. Shit, break it down. Shit.
No, I mean, in the movie The Matrix, that everybody was living in basically a dream world, so to speak. It was basically the world around them, and everything that was presented before them was not real. In a way that you could actually see the real world and come into a reality, you basically got, the people that were in the real world would come into the fake world, the wool that was pulled before everyone's eyes, and they would have to offer them. The person would have to choose to do it. They offer them the red pill, and then they get to see the world for what it really is, or they offer them the blue pill, and then they stay basically in the matrix and living in the delusion, so to speak. The person chooses to take the red pill, then they see the real world for what it actually is, and it's sort of like
I got that part, but the Nebuchadnezzar and all that shit. What's that?
The Nebuchadnezzar.
Man.
See, you gotta really watch it. That makes it all the way into Zion. Zion is the actual place where the humans live in the real world. Okay, they go from Zion into the Matrix and pull people out of the Matrix and wake them up, and then they wake up they basically wake up in the real world. It's hard to explain. I have to explain too much technical shit about the movie. If y'all don't get it, goddamn it, go watch the Matrix. This is a good movie. Aside from all this red pill shit,
that got a quick response to that right quick, man.
It's genuinely a top tier science fiction movie. Just watch it for the science fiction.
Now, the way that you just described it, I was, because it seemed to me like, okay, the red pill analogy, the only difference I would say is that the red pill, blue pill thing. And okay, in the movie, it would seem like they didn't even know there was an alternative world, something going on that they didn't even, they didn't even know about this stuff. But the difference with us and what we discuss is we all know this shit. You know what I'm saying? We all know this goes on. We see it every day. It's just that are you going to say something? Are you going to actually speak on it and acknowledge it now? I would say that's the only difference.
Well, we know it, but I know what it feels like to be what's called blue pill, and
Yeah.
it's like the bullshit right in front of you, but you don't see it. You
Well, let's put it like
compartmentalize it.
this.
You have your confirmation biases. You just you just don't see it. It just
That's
so
what I was going to say. Like, okay, how can I put this? For the most part, they see it, but it's like they're so conditioned to defend, justify, and rationalize it, because I done literally seen dudes, who, I mean, they see what's going on, man, but they will literally argue with you why they really don't deserve better. Like, man, like, look, bro, I enjoy, being told that I ain't shit. I enjoy being told that I don't deserve better in life. The fuck you mean? Who are you to come along and tell me that I can do better? Like, that's really how a lot of blue pill guys, that's really how they respond. When we tell them, well, when we ask them to like, not ask them, but when we encourage them to just be honest about what it is that they see and really know deep down inside.
yeah, yeah, no doubt, no doubt. But thank you for that super chat. Thank you for that super chat, John Paul D. Waterford. Thank you for that. Sorry that wasn't an esteemed panel of sci-fi geeks who seen all 3 Matrix movies 20 times. I apologize. They ain't ready. They ain't ready. But
I watched them.
no,
I
no.
just want to know more reference
Yeah.
point on the connection.
Yeah, no doubt, no doubt. But no, shout out to everybody in the building. Appreciate everybody coming through. Let me check my phone real quick. And see if anybody came through on the Cash App. And y'all make sure y'all hit the like button. Make sure y'all hit the like button. But to the general question, to circle it back to the title question. And Omega Dress, why you saying drop the link? Do you ever take the link? I don't think you take the link. But the link is in the chat. Anybody else want to come up? Link is in the chat. Anybody else want to come up? But to the primary title question, is the manosphere working? Is the manosphere working? We'll probably go around again on that one, and then we may wrap it up if nobody else comes up on this one. If nobody else comes up on this one. But Salty Balls back in here with another one, says, thine riches rain down from the ethers, from the treasure chest, so that the wailing sirens of thine she-heathens cannot drown out the voices of our rational orators in the public square. No request, no games. Man, this, I got to get you on the show. I gotta hear how he speaks in real time. I gotta see if he speaks in parables and metaphors and similes like that. I mean, like, damn. we gotta hear him talk. Push one in the chat if you want me to do a one-on-one with Salty Balls. One in the chat if you want a one-on-one with Salty Balls. That sounds horrible. Pause. But if y'all want to see me go one-on-one with Salty Balls, put one in the chat.
Put that pause out
there. Dude sound like he got a hell of home library.
Right.
Oh man, he ain't got shit published after 1850 or some shit.
Man, we just can compile his super chats, man. That shit is reading like Sun Tzu, man. It's deep. It's deep. But oh man. All right, I'm looking at them. Yeah, it's all the ones in the pauses in the chat. But let's go around on that. We probably got 10 more minutes left on this. Nobody come up. We'll probably wrap it up at the 2-hour mark of the stream. We'll be doing the show later on tonight. So what's y'all got? What's your final parting shots to the title question? Is the manosphere working? is the manosphere helping the black manosphere helping black men? That's in the thumbnail. And the title question is the black manosphere working? What do y'all got on that? What's your final thoughts, final answer on that?
Now, I feel like it's working in the sense of, like I said, people are able to come here and, you realize that it's not just you who are thinking these things. Because if you go through a large part of your life thinking that it's just you who think these things, then you may end up questioning your own mind state. You may think like something wrong with you, but not really, right? And so, like we also pointed out earlier, if you do go through that, that graduation process where I guess at first you come in the door, you get some things off your chest that you've never been able to say because we know how this goes, right? And you pretty much get over it. You take the information that you learn and you learn how to maneuver in this world. And this information is not about going out there and being mad at the opposite sex. It's not about that. Because see, the thing is, in Black American dating culture, we live in a very predatory culture. It just is, it is what it is. Black American dating culture is very predatory to the point where you really, really, really need to be prompted, and taught, how to, how not to be preyed on, how not to be fucked over. Like somebody really has to sit you down and tell you this, because otherwise, you're out there, you're out there in the jungle, so you can take a lot of information, learn how things go, because I guarantee you in your real life, not many people are going to sit down and tell you that. There's a whole lot of rationalizing the shit when you deal with people like face to face, people. It's like they see it themselves, but they tend to defend it like, oh man, that's just how it is, man. That's just how it is. They start saying little shit like that, so it helps in that sense, but it's not about being mad with the opposite sex. It's about, knowing how to protect yourself, but at the same time, you know, don't develop the mindset that I had, early in life, where you go out there pretty much looking for this shit. Know what's out there, but at the same time, you know, deal with people individually. So I feel like it's helping in that sense.
All right. No, good stuff. Good stuff. Definitely. And somebody at reference, Dusty Nuts. Dusty Nuts and Salty Balls are the same person. I told him he needed to change that name because I got tired of saying Dusty Nuts, and then he changed it to Salty Balls. So at that point, I gave up, and it is what it is. The man's name is Salty Balls, and that's just what it is. And somebody else said something very funny, because I said he got to get his own clip, his own greeting, and the Mac the Trucker. Somebody mentioned something that I was already thinking of. I was trying to remember South Park. Yeah, that South Park clip. I was trying to think, did the chef used to say something about Salty Balls? He said, Bernard, you got to get that clip of Chef Salty Balls song from South Park for him.
Yeah, he had a song.
Okay.
It was
All right.
yeah.
Okay. RM said she working on it. Don't play it because South Park don't play that. They snipe you immediately. I can get the audio and then create something else for it. But if we play, whenever I play South Park, I get hit. Unless it's like real short. Like you got to be like 4 seconds to not get a strike from South Park. They don't play that shit. But so yeah, don't play it. But no, shout out to Salty Balls. All right, we got somebody else on the panel. We're about to wrap it up. So you got to give your first and last words. You got to. Oh shit! Now everybody want to take the link. Really?
Hold on, I ain't respond yet though.
All right, go ahead. Now we got Judge Zilla up here. It's like we got okay. So
Another hour.
Now we got a whole another hour. Now we got a panel. I didn't handed half the audience. The numbers just dropped down, like 30 people left. We about to wrap it up. They start cleaning up. You had a restaurant. It's time to go. They start vacuuming under your feet and stuff. That's what was going on. And now the niggas want to. The restaurant closed at 10 o'clock. People want to come into a buffet at 9:59 p.m. Just that's how niggas do. All right. But anyway, but go ahead, Hoop.
No, I'll be brief. So for the question, is it working? And yes, it's working, but it's never going to be perfect. I think some people have a standard that they want this to be like this perfect system where, oh well, show me where this helping black men at, blah 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 blah. And it's almost it's hard to do, but us who follow this shit, consistently, we see it. So it's never gonna be perfect. Because I say that because with my friends who know nothing about your channel, who loosely knew about Kevin Samuels, who know nothing about Obsidian, who know nothing about MTR, so on and so forth. They talk about these things in locker room discussions or water cooler discussions. So what we're doing is penetrating reality, where people who don't YouTube per se, they are hearing these discussion points. So this is a good thing, man. Like, because 4 or 5 years ago, man, like from a general standpoint, what we say held no weight.
Mm-hmm.
Now, because well, if you said it, you were just labeled outrightly, a misogynist, or you're a clown, you this, that, you a third. Now this is an actual viable thing, and I'll say this too, man. I have a lot of friends. I'm 39 years old, female friends who are feeling this heat, and they talk about this, bro. Like when I talk to them, they know that the game is switched up on them. They know this,
Mm-hmm.
and when they were 35, it wasn't prevalent to them. Now that they're approaching 40, now they feel it. They feel that heat, bro. So ultimately, I'm saying what we're doing is a good work, man. It may not give you, you know, um, gains as far as in your face right now, but from an intrinsic standpoint, we're doing the good work. They're feeling that shit. Now they may not like it, but ultimately they feel that shit. So what we're doing is definitely working for black men. It's working for a standpoint from people who want to just think outside of conventional thinking, which is failing black people. And thus going forward, nobody can debunk what we say over here. Bro, I land the plane here. I'm in a group chat with my high school friends who I've known forever, man. And these are guys who I would go to battle for forever. We talk about shit like this, and normally when it gets like to the hard cutthroat shit, they don't want no part of it because they ebb towards that liberal standpoint, and well, it's a system, it's white supremacy, yada yada yada. When I hold them motherfuckers feet to the flame, I get nothing, bro. And so ultimately, to culminate all together, what we do here is slowly penetrating their minds, and they have no rebuttal for it. So keep doing what you're doing, Bernard. Everybody listening, Judgezilla, Hood Conservative, Little Big Nate, so on and so forth. Keep doing what you're doing, man, because all those little conventions that we've had that you just can't combat it just because you're going with the company line. People are starting now. They have no rebuttal for it. So salute
All
to
right.
everybody to what they're doing, man.
All right. Land the plane, nigga. Land the plane.
All
All
right.
right. had to get you. Had to get you.
I'm sorry.
But we going to Tony Golden. You probably go. I mean, go ahead. You got the floor. You got the mic.
I appreciate it. Yeah, man. I think the Black Manosphere is working. When I found the Black Manosphere, I was already aware of a lot of sexual dynamics between the black man and the black woman. But it's really interesting to see that there's actually a space where guys can get out their opinions and their observations and their ideas. And I think it's really impactful because there's media out there that's already so anti-male. On top of that, there's deeper media that's anti-black male. So finding the Black manosphere and is it working? I think it is because there's a lot of people, well, black men in particular, who just don't really know what to do, how to maneuver, or they may feel how we feel, but they feel like they can't really address it or say it out loud. So I think it's really impactful in that manner. and I think it's working, especially when you get a rise out of the women, typically because they know it's true and they don't want to hear it. But I think it's working.
All right. Good stuff. Good stuff. Thank you for your comments. Black Wizard 80's in the building with the $10 super chat says it's also about finding self-respect. I don't think hatred is a good long-term strategy, but if those feelings help you with boundaries, I'm for it as long as you aren't putting anyone in danger. Thank you for your comments, Black Wizard. Always love when you.
What do we get for $10? Everything you want.
Thank you for your comments. Always has insightful things to say. Judge Zilla in the building. What you got? What you got?
Hey, gentlemen, I think you guys are on to this here. Is even though there are a lot of people who even in this space and adjacent to this space that like to talk down or trash upon it. We can see the effect. We can see the effect of all the spin-off groups that have come out of this content.
Mm-hmm.
Who that we can observe, like, hey, I know where that comes from. Hey, I know who said that. Hey, I know who brought that to the forefront before anybody else brought to the forefront. I know where those talking points come from. I know where these observations come from. I know where this rationale and logic comes from. And though there may be little acknowledgement of it, which is personally one of my pet peeve criticisms about if I could say posthumously about Kevin Samuels, uh, one of my small, not to say that he never did it. I just think maybe it should have been done a little bit more. That's just my personal criticism. But nonetheless, like Perfect Billis and Hoop Jargon is saying, I like it's out there. It was out there. We heard comedians talk about this for decades and decades and decades, but they seem to be the only ones who could say it because they wanted to get a ha ha and a chuckle out of it.
Mm-hmm.
And now it's like, no, like we were smiling, but that was not a smile. That was a grimace because it's true, and you knew it was true. Yet as far as to women, you knew it was true. Yet you continue to ride and push the limits and push the limits and push the limits, and now this is where we're at. So, look, I am not always positive about some of the things that I see in the space, and its future with certain. But it needs to. But that's the thing, is it needs to have all of that so you could filter all the you could, so that it can be filtered out. Unfortunately, you have to have all of these pieces to see which is going to resonate and which is not going to resonate. And I think this place is resonating pretty solidly, and to be judged by those that are making big scales adjacent to the space. Secondarily, um, I would just I would just like to say, Bernard, for clarity, it is suck on my chocolate salty balls. Put them in your mouth and suck them and suck them and suck them. That is the that is the
That's a
reference that you're looking for.
yeah. Okay, I'm gonna go on. For those that made it in late that don't know what's going on, I said I got to get a special greeting for Salty Boss, who's at this point the biggest supporter of the show, and somebody recommended the chef from South Park's song. Got to play that when he comes in or when he drops a super chat, and so that's what Judge Zilla was singing. He just didn't, yeah, that's what that was.
It wouldn't have impacted as well, man. I couldn't preface it. I had to get right into it. It wouldn't have impacted as well.
Yeah.
You know me, I got to try to drop a joke in here every so often, right?
Yeah, definitely. But yeah, no, we'll definitely get to work on that. Definitely get to work on that. Getting that clip ready to go. But all right. I think we're gonna wrap this on up. I'd like to formally thank Perfect Billis, who don't even got a channel. I think I asked you earlier, like you don't exactly got a channel to even drop the link into the chat room, do
I
you?
have
Like you're
one.
not even okay. Well, yeah. Well, then I don't even know if you got a wrench, man.
No, I don't.
We gotta get, at least get the link in here one time before we get out of here. See, I was thinking, I'm okay. When's the last time you posted some content?
And I don't even. Let me
See,
see.
yeah, see, you ain't
I
got
don't
no
even-
yeah.
Let me type it in the
Yeah,
back chat.
is that it? Is it like the pyramid from the dollar? Is that your avatar on your channel?
Oh no, it's
See, okay, I can't even find you. It ain't an eye. It's not. See, yeah. Okay, so you said you posted it in the back. Yeah. Drop that in the private chat. Drop that in the private chat. I didn't even. You can't remember the last time you posted some content, but we'll get people over there. This was definitely one of the better discussions I've had. Better discussion. It was a necessary discussion. You know, he's been around in this space for a while. He talked, candidly about issues that he had with women and just internally with himself and how he worked through that and the part that the space played in him working through that. So there's the link right there. There's the link right there to the gentleman's channel, the Perfect Billis channel. Definitely go and check it out. Maybe someday he'll be posting content regularly. But if you're interested, if you like anything you heard today,
yeah,
that's where
definitely.
you
'Cause,
can.
and a matter of fact, when I get off of here, there's a one-on-one I'm about to do because most of my content on there is going to be about the financial markets and
Good.
macroeconomics. So yeah,
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 that's
about to
a
drop
perfect.
something.
For those of again, for another reference here for Perfect. Look, I've seen Perfect in and around this space for probably the entire time I've been here, for probably about 3 years. Um, I've never seen a. I've always respected the commentary that he's put forward, and it's good to see him able to do something a little bit more long form.
Yeah,
It's a pleasure seeing
Yeah,
this.
appreciate that,
Perfect.
man.
yeah, definitely. All right, damn it, before we dug out here, it's one more person who's in the back. I forgot about you. Real quick, you got, bro, you got like 20 seconds. I didn't want to be rude. What you got, man?
Hey, what's going on, Bernard?
What's going on?
Yeah, so I just wanted to let you know, though, for the whole platform, when you're dealing with something called the Matrix, that led up to humans creating their own downfall. See, it's simple. Basically, you started a war that you thought you could win, but that war ended up destroying you. So, in a sense, the machines realized that the worst threat was, of course, man. But you blotted out the sun, dooming you both to oblivion. But they figured that a human is pretty much 70% water, right? You can all be used as batteries. And that can be applied to even what humans will do to other humans as batteries. So I just wanted to explain that much as far as, if they believe that a matrix is kind of possible, but like, if you do that, just know that you would possibly end up being the lesser and then the machine being the greater.
What?
Well, it's basically AI, bro.
All right, man. All right. All right. All right. And I was following what you were saying. I was trying to relate it to the movie and draw parallels and analogies with the real world. And I don't know if you got all the way there. You
Well,
landed the plane, or if I'm not just smart enough to understand exactly what you're saying. I
well,
do
just
know. I do know the reference what you made in the movie. I think in the end, the humans did. It can't say
they
they
still
exactly
lost.
won. Well, no, if you watch all the way
They're
to
still losers.
if you watch all the way to part 3, they didn't exactly win. They stopped
Right.
total destruction, and it ended on like a steady state of peace, but it was kind of alluded to it's temporary peace, And so we would, we were waiting for Matrix to come out, and then more Matrix movies. Then more Matrix movies came out, and then we was disappointed. So it's to me, it ended at part 3 where it ended in peace, where the humans were,
it ended just on the fact that you're a minority and the machines are still the majority. I mean,
well, it didn't end in homeostasis.
But the machines,
what it ended in, look, there's still going to be human batteries. If you contact them and you want them and they want to come out, we'll let you take them out, and we're not going to be right. But there's still an armistice. There's still that's essentially what it was an armistice. That's essentially what it was. There's an armistice. We're still adversarial. We're not going to do this anymore. You do this over here, and hey, when you understand though, when you get too big, the shit starts again.
Yep.
Exactly. That's how I interpret the end of the Matrix. Like when when the architect said to the Oracle, "How long do you expect this piece to last?" I was like, "It's going to end if the humans just get too big. That's when it's going to end." So they got it's peace for now. It's peace.
And now humans watch that for movies, and they have to actually ask themselves, are they being constructed at the same rate of where I'm above you, then you must stay beneath me at a certain population?
I can't understand. Okay, say that again. I got to get up out of here. But say that again.
I'll let you go. Maybe another time.
No. Real quick. No. Go ahead. I like Matrix analogy. So go ahead.
Well, I'm saying between human emotions, and then we have to deal with AI. But if we look at that from a grasp of I'm above you and you're beneath me, you need to stay exactly where you are so I can reign supreme over you. That's a situation that humans will do to each other.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Because remember, Zion is the last stronghold, right?
Right.
That's the last stronghold. That means that there were other strongholds that were obliterated, that were completely wiped out, right? So this is a thing that this conflict that you're falling into in the Matrix is probably 2 generations old, at least.
Yep.
And so it's the last conclave of human society within Zion. There were others that were completely destroyed.
And like I always say, Bernard, it's freedom, and humans created the Matrix. So there you go.
Humans created the Matrix.
Yeah.
No, that's not.
Well, they created the capacity for the Matrix.
Fair enough. Okay. We're gonna wrap it up right there. Thank you, everybody.
Thanks, Bernard. I appreciate it.
Black Manosphere is the last stronghold. Yep. Thank you, everybody, again, and thanks again, Perfect Billers. This was definitely great talking to you. Like Judge said, see you on. You've been hopping periodically in and out of panels. I don't know. I can't recall if you ever did a one-on-one with somebody. So it was good. Definitely good talking to you in long format, hearing a lot of your stories. So man, thank you very much.
No problem. Definitely respect to the panel too.
Yeah. And I don't know how much it is I'm going to play, but we do have a Salty Balls clip. What is going on? It's not playing. It's technical difficulties with that. I don't know what's going on. All right.
I suspect what it is that it's a highly protected property. That's why I tried to give you that little clip earlier, because I suspect that if you try to use that, it's highly protected.
Yeah.
Just like trying to find South Park episodes on YouTube.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Just say Omega did.
All right. We got to get out of here. We got to get. Oh, this is Omega?
Yeah.
I didn't even know that was you. God damn it. You the homie. We go back. I didn't even know that was you. I ain't come up on your regular name. You got me. I'm sitting there listening to you like I was like, is this some weirdo? You almost got kicked off you almost got kicked off the panel. I would have felt horrible.
Well, I'm a nerd, so it's okay. Nobody would care.
All right. We out of here, y'all. We out of here. Peace, y'all. We gone.